girl? Wanna come over to my mom's house? She's making cookies and we can play video games together. Yeah!
What? You still live with your mother? I don't date losers. No, thank you. Hey, C&T. Why don't we get together tonight, huh?
Sure thing, girl. But you're gonna have to get in line with all the other girls wanting me. What? On second thought, I'm gonna stick with these other chicks.
Why do the hot guys not find me attractive anymore?
Yo, I got a car and a house now. I don't need women. Hey guys, it's Mike here and welcome to Dumb Culture. This is commentary on how dumb culture is currently. In these videos, we're going to talk about everything from dating to politics, from pop culture to history. So sit back and let's talk about this first subject, which is dating and my perspective of it. To give you guys a little bit of background info about myself in the dating market. I'm 38, I'm single, I don't have children. I work in a factory, I own a house, and I own a car. I am not Don Juan. I am not a pickup artist. In fact, I'm lucky if I get 2 dates a year. That's that, guys. So that is my perspective of dating. Now let's get into the nitty gritty and trying to understand the insides and outsides of why we have a struggle in Western society with dating and having kids and getting married and everything, especially with millennials, because I am a millennial, and it's probably just going to get worse. So yeah, let's get into this, guys. So the first thing we have are categories. If you look over here, we have categories on what we all look for. Attractiveness is going to be defined as your physical beauty, quality as how you are perceived by those around you. Resources is your ability to provide an easier life, and then quantity is options. And options, guys, is a two-way street. The more options you have, the more options someone else is going to have when you're trying to meet the right person. And that will make more sense in a few slides, but let's play a little bit of a game here, guys. On our next slide, here we go. We're going to start from the outside. So the big open spots, that's going to be baseball. That's 1 because nobody is a 0. 0 means you're dead. No one's going to date a dead person. If you're willing to date a dead person, you have some mental problems, and we'll leave it at that. So we're going to go from the outside in. Right next to the dot in the middle guy, the bullseye, that is 10. All right? That's a 10 in all categories when you get that far. That are celebrity level people, and we might hold back on the quality a little bit on celebrities, but you know, is what it is. So the game we're going to play, I'm going to give you 23 points. 23, all right? So take those 23 points and distribute them how you wish through each ring. You know, each ring is going to be 1 point. And the only rule or stipulation I'm going to put on that, guys, is I'm pretty certain none of us are willing to date a 3 in any category, or below a 3 rather. So each one, there's 4 of those, is going to have a minimum of 3 points in it. So that leaves you with 11 points left to spend as you wish. Pause it or just get a good idea where you would spend those points. And let me throw you a curveball, because generally speaking, men are going to put points into an attractive woman. Women are going to put points into a man having resources. And this is general. It does go both ways, guys. But if you look at the new graphic here, the attractiveness increases the options, the quantity, all right? The resources does the same thing. So the more you have in either one of those, the higher the options are going to be for that person. So if you want someone that's a hottie, they're going to have way more options than you can probably handle. If you want someone that's got money to spend, they're probably going to have way more options than you can handle. And a side note about this, guys, and hopefully you understand why I did what I did here, is more than likely more points were put into attractiveness or resources than was put into quality. All right? Remember, quality is how you are perceived by those around you, your personality. Personality comes last, guys. I've been called the nice guy myself, and I've said, she's a sweet girl, but I wouldn't date her. That's just how it is. And you're kidding yourself if you're saying right now that you've never done that. You're kidding yourself. You really are. But that was a fun little curveball to throw at you guys. Now let's look at the what it takes to be able to date the people we want to date. Okay. So what we have right here is a scale of what it takes for men to date what they want to date and for women to attract what they want to date. And yes, there are two different sides to that coin there. Men have to earn it, women have to accept it, okay? And this is kind of the difference between masculinity and femininity, okay? Masculinity is earned while femininity is accepted. And this graph should give you a pretty good understanding of that, where men have to go out and prove that they are men, all right? They have to, go slay the Nemean lion, as it were. Women have to accept their femininity. They have to accept that they have to attract the man they want. They can't go out and slay the Nemean lion to get the man they want. It's not how it works. That's why a lot of our stories are arranged in the fashion that they are, here in the Western world, mind you. So hopefully you guys get a good understanding of what I mean by that. Let's move on to a more physical representation. And, whoa, that's a little weird. Let's do this instead. Dots. Let's get rid of that. And there we go. So on this, guys, it's a representation of how men and women deal with the opposite gender. And this is mainly for heterosexual people, guys. Sorry if you consider yourself non-binary and you've got some pronouns that for a simple guy like me is going to be extremely hard to remember. This isn't going to help you much. You're welcome to watch though, so it's what it is. But men have to figure out how to navigate women. At any point in the road they could get stumped. Woman's gonna shit test them, and they're out. If he fails, he's just out. That kind of is represented by the upper left being the men's experience, and the lower right is the women's experience. And obviously, I'm a super straight male. The only knowledge I have of the female experience is what female family and friends have told me, in private. So this is kind of my understanding. And I can read some comments and stuff out there about how women perceive men in the dating market. And again, men have to go out and find the women they want. They have to go out and earn the women they want. If you look at the single female in the bottom right, that's representation of women having to deal with men coming to them. And I think most women can attest that all sorts of men, ugly, attractive, broke, bums, rich, and there are different levels of attractiveness for women, so some women are going to have different experiences, but this is pretty general view of how women deal with the dating market. They have to filter out the guys they don't want and hopefully filter in the guys they can and do want. If you see my note in the lower right, and hopefully you understand what I mean by ARPIS and an ender, but I would say through the different statistics, and it's pretty likely that 1 in 20 something men are probably going to do something nasty. There are different statistics out there, guys, and I couldn't find a legitimate, this is how many men do bad things to women. So I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to put it down to 1 in 20. Well, I think on this I've got 22 male symbols there on the female side. So we'll say 1 in 22 men is a ARPist or an ender. All right, so they're trying to filter out and figure out who that guy is, and then they're trying to figure out which guy is going to best, give them long-term commitment and everything that we're all trying to find. And there's something to be said too about men have to deal with the divorce, the court systems, financial ruin, losing access to their own children, which is pretty stinking high here in the Western world. So there is something to be said about that. I couldn't find for this particular video any super accurate information on that, but yeah, there are landmines for men too, but we're looking at financial ruin, life ruining situations that could lead to, or self deletion. I shouldn't say the other word. And women are looking at just simple life deletion. So it's kind of, a toss of which one you want to deal with. And I, for one, like being a man, and I think most women like being women. This is just different perspective on, each other's views on things and why we categorize differently, why we look for different things. One of the big things that women look for are men that other women want, because those other women can vouch for, how good of a man that is. Is he a good guy? Is he gonna snap and do something crazy? And that's why women trust other women for the most part when dating. If a guy's acting like a crazy serial killer, then yeah, they are gonna say, hey, stay away from this guy. He's a little weird, and that's just how it is. And let's go into the back to this last one here, guys. And I want to talk about how are we going to fix the dating market right now. And let's get a little controversial, because I'm not afraid of controversy. Is feminism ruining the dating world right now? And what I mean by that, guys, if you look at some of the Jordan Peterson videos on women being promiscuous, women having the freedom to go sleep with who they want to sleep with, women gravitate to a small and growing smaller pool of men. They want the best they can get. And a lot of women think they're 10, so therefore they deserve a 10 male. And you can watch a lot of different podcasts on this. I think the Whatever podcast has probably the most famous one right now of women that aren't 10s. They're not ugly. Like, some of them I would, in a different life, I would date them if, they had a different personality to go with it. But I would date them just based on looks, but they are not 10s. And, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but when we're being realistic and we have a set scale, you have to hold to that scale. You cannot be delusional. And I feel like modern day feminism has gotten into the brains of a lot of women where they think they're 10s, therefore they deserve 10s in men, or only 10s of men. That sounds weird. 10s of men, men that are 10s, whichever way you want to say that. And I don't know, guys. I don't know how we fix this. I'm a little bit on the naive side. I still have some hope that I could eventually get married and have kids. It's why I bought a house. It's why I got a promotion at work to try and better myself. And if you're familiar with my other videos, and the one in particular that I posted earlier, or sorry, not in particular, but particularly that I posted earlier this year, I talked about I just recently had spinal surgery, which was back in September. I'm almost 6 months away, so I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Still can't do as much as I would like, but I'm getting better. But yeah, I was trying to better myself physically, and was doing squats to get that cake that women want, and it ruined my back, and now I will never be able to look like a Marvel character. All those guys, all the Chris's, I'm never going to look like them now, because there's just simply no way. I've lost that much mobility in my back that I keep trying to earn day by day just to get a small fraction of a degree back. so I can lean forward. And it's a lot of work and it sucks. So it is what it is. So, wrapping up, guys, with final thoughts here as I turn the page of my notes. Men earn relationships. Women have to accept relationships, okay? When women think they deserve a 10 male, a man that is a 10, you know, they have to accept his advance. If a 10 male is not going to come to her, she can't accept it. And that's just how that is, you know. And we can talk about delusional males, but we're speaking in generalities. I think most men are pretty based in understanding their skill and their worth when it comes to women in their life. So when men stop dating, you know, they go MGTOW, it's mainly because they deem themselves not good enough. I mean, society deems them not good enough, which is becoming an epidemic of sorts. I wouldn't consider myself MGTOW. I definitely don't consider myself an incel, but I completely understand why men are getting out of the dating market right now, because it's rough. It's rough being a male, an average male in the dating market. Going forward, when women stop dating, it's because they can't accept what is good enough. And I said what I said, guys. When women stay single, when they get past whatever magic number, I think a lot of people like to say 35, and they're single, they don't have an option for a good husband, and they can't get pregnant. It's because they didn't choose to accept a male that was good enough. And I think modern day feminism, and we're going on, what is it, fourth or fifth generation of feminism, because it started back in the 1848, and I think we went past equality and now we are into delusion. That is my perspective, and I stated that back at the beginning of the video. This is my perspective of it as an average male. So we're going to wrap up there, guys. I've got a few more videos planned that don't deal with dating. Just to give you some examples, guys, I've got one about politics that I've named logical versus emotional, which I think would be pretty good talking points. And then I have one about pop culture and modern traditional versus woke. And yeah, so we'll leave it there, guys. If you've got any suggestions for videos down the road, hit me up, let me know, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Later.